You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose.
It's the only way to learn. You have to fail. Failure is a part of the process to becoming successful.
Failure gives you two choices. You stay down or you get up.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
You can't let your failures define you. You have to let your failures teach you.
And no matter what happens to you, it ain't over. It ain't over. Ain't no such a thing as over.
Always keep going. Always. And I've come to find out is that, no matter what happens, the storm eventually ends. And when the storm does end, you want to make sure that you're ready.
You need to change your mind because some of you are thinking about giving up because you're in a season of failure. But just because you failed doesn't mean that God doesn't have a bright future in store for you. It is always too soon to quit. But I want to remind you that failure is not final, it's formative. It is part of the process. It's part of the journey. Your failure matters as much as your success. How do you think you're going to grow if you don't ever fail? Yet some of you have failed and you have decided, well, guess what? I'm a failure. No, failure is an event. It is never a person. Just because you failed doesn't mean that you're a failure. In fact, failure is actually fuel for your future. The way that you grow, the way that you advance. You have to fail in order to succeed. Like every one of my successes is stacked on top of failures. You need to get a revelation today that the joy is not in the success. The joy is in trying. The joy is in the process.
If you don't fail, you're not even trying. I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. My wife told me this great expression. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. Les Brown's a motivational speaker. He made an analogy about this. He says, imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on. The ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes?
There's no losing, only learning. There's no failure, only opportunities. And there's no problems, only solutions. So to me, what failure is the mother of all success. If it wasn't for Michael Jordan getting cut from his 9th grade basketball team, he wouldn't have became Michael Jordan. If it wasn't for, I seen an article the other day where they were talking about Oprah Winfrey and how she got fired because she wasn't good for television. You got people like Walt Disney who got fired, if I'm not mistaken, from a newspaper saying he had no imagination. All they can do is learn and come back bigger, better, stronger, because all it's going to do is lead you in the right direction. See, if you're always winning, then you don't really understand what it is to win. You got to take those losses. You got to take those hits. There's got to be the valleys, the peaks, the ups, the downs, in order for you to, when it does happen, you go, wow, this is what it's all about. And not only that, it's never about making it, guys. It's always about maintaining it. That's the toughest part.
This is what's difficult about failure. The disappointment is on you. It is your fault, and you go through failure alone. But failure has made me who I am today.
Mistakes will happen. Failure will come. And maybe you won't make it. Maybe you won't get to the top of the mountain. Maybe you will fall a few times. Maybe you will fail from time to time. But you need consistency. You can say to yourself, I was consistent. I failed, and I failed again, but I was consistent because I didn't look behind me. I just kept going forward. You have to lose your fear of failure. Failure is a part of the process. People who never fail, never try. You have to fail. You got to get it wrong to get it right.
You cannot achieve success without failure. Some of my biggest successes come from some of my biggest failures. For a lot of people, the distance between their dreams and their reality is intimidating, and they get stuck. Only way forward is to decide that you want that dream so bad that you are going to work harder, you're going to get up earlier, you're going to stay later, you're going to push past the people who doubted you and laughed at you and hated on you. It doesn't come easy. you're gonna have to go out there and get it. Nobody's gonna give you nothing. There's no rescue team coming, no National Guard, no aid coming, nothing. You're gonna have to go out there and get it. I want you to remember the power of you. You have that power, trust me. At night, I be flying. I believe I could fly. I am a unicorn.
You're not afraid of failing. You're afraid of what other people will think of you if you fail. But if you're afraid of that, imagine what they think of you when you aren't even trying. Oh yeah, they aren't.
Anyone who's successful has failed much more than you know. It's like you look at somebody who's an unbelievable athlete, somebody who's an unbelievable entertainer, speaker, communicator, artist. They didn't just show up that way. They are being rewarded in public for what you practice in private consistently. You might want to jot that down. We're all rewarded in public for the things that we consistently practice and refine in private. And so you see that person, you think they're a genius, but if you watch, they've been failing more than anybody else. They just failed more often, so they learn quicker.
You will never succeed more than you fail. That's not how it works. You know why? Because failure is a wonderful teacher. It's the only way to learn. You have to fail. Failure is a part of the process to becoming successful. I tell people this all the time. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player in the world, he took 946 game-winning shots. He has missed over 700 times, but he has made 146. You know what they write about? When he make it. They write about when you make it. So guess what? When you get through failing, all you got to do is make one. Shit, who you know that gets it right all the time? That's impossible. You have to fail. Matter of fact, when you fail, be glad about it. Every time you fail, you're one step closer.
The research is clear on this. Being hard on yourself is not fucking motivating. It's demotivating. And if you already feel like a failure or you feel a sense of shame or you're overwhelmed, beating yourself up for where you are does not fucking work. It drives you into the gutter. The most motivating force in the world, on the planet, based on research, hands down, is empowerment, encouragement, support, and celebration. In a moment when you feel alone, you can give yourself the boost, the support, the empowerment that you need to keep going.
The only thing we can do is take one day at a time. You know, it's all we can do. No one is perfect. Every day we strive to be perfectionists, but no one is perfect. I make mistakes. You know, I've said things that I shouldn't have said when I was younger. I've done things that I shouldn't have done when I was younger. I'm not perfect, but we live and we learn. And that's a part of growing.
Get some good habit patterns and live with them all of your life. Because you're either going to grow or you're going to die. It's create or disintegrate. There's no such thing as leveling out and staying where we are. And some people think they can just hold it where they're at, but they can't do that. You're either going to go ahead or you're going to go backwards. It's create or disintegrate. And so if you have good habits, you're going to keep growing. Way back, I think around 1938, 39, Albert E.N. Gray worked for the Prudential, and he wrote The Common Denominator of Success. It's a great article. And he said the common denominator of success is informing the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. And he was speaking one time, a young guy said, why do successful people like doing these things? And he said, they don't. That's why they've turned them into habits. I thought that was beautiful. He said, that's why they've turned them into habits. They don't like doing them. You see? And of course, a habit
What do you think?
Well, a habit is something we do automatically without any conscious thought. It's part of our paradigm. We're programmed.
I can't lose. Because losing is something that is designed for people that quit and for people that fail. I don't fail, I learn. I reevaluate, I analyze, I cross-examine, I fine-tune, I refine my craft. Maybe not now in my mid-20s, but in my 40s, in my 50s, in my 60s, in my 70s, in my 80s, in my 100s, I will have refined my craft. Because it's a process of self-development. So if you couldn't fail because failure is not an option, because failure isn't real, who would you become? Who would you be? Who's holding you back? Who's telling you can't? You? Or is it the programming inside of you? Maybe it ain't you. Get positive. The world is yours for the taking.
Since we are born in this world, this has repeated every day. sunrise, sun goes down. So that means there is a up, there is a down. Since we are born, we have inhaled 50% of our times, we have exhaled 50% of our times. Our heart, the same. Sucking the blood, pumping the blood, also the same. Meaning always 50-50. Always the exchange between left and right, up and down, bright and dark, in and out, success and failure. It's just that this world is not propagating failure to you. It is propagating success to you. So our mind is looking for success. So realizing this, really understanding, it's not just about up. It's not just about taking. It's about taking and giving. It's about relaxing and doing. It's about exchange. It's about constant exchange with you, your peers, with people around you, with the world. It's about exchange, because exchange means there is a change. There's constantly happening some transformation. This is what everything is built upon.
The dumb shit that I've done or the bad mistakes that I've made, they've taught me. You know, you learn. Like, that's why failure is so important. Like, failing and up and making mistakes, it's very important. That's how you learn. That's how the bad feeling that you get from something that you shouldn't have done or wish you didn't do or wish you did better, like especially failing at something where you half-assed it and you just feel like a loser, like that just teaches you. It teaches you to get your shit together.
I want you to admit a failure that you've made, that you're obsessing over. Can you say enough with the dissection of that failure and instead maybe forgive yourself, let it go, release the guilt, turn the page, move on, change, and give grace her time of day? Now, admit a success that you've had or something that you do pretty darn well on a consistent basis. You know, at work, a way you care for your child or sibling or your spouse, whatever that something is, I want you to give more credit to it, give more respect to it, have more gratitude for it. Now, will you commit to dissecting the successes instead of the failures in your life? Because I believe that the recipe for your particular secret sauce is under the hood of what you do well, not what you don't. So will you dig deeper into the why of your successes? You do that, and you're going to start to have more success more often, I bet you.
It's very important that to take risks in life. This is the key, in my opinion. This is the difference between very successful people and people who don't take risks. I have played 20 years of international cricket. I saw a lot of players with a lot of talent, but they never made it big because they were scared of losing. They would not take risks. Players with less talent, but that ability to take risks, chances, they also had bad times. But eventually, the ones who took more chances and risks were the ones who made it big.
The truth is, being successful is hard, and you won't necessarily succeed at everything the first time you try. Some of the most successful people in the world are the ones who've had the most failures. J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter, her first Harry Potter book was rejected 12 times before it was finally published. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He lost hundreds of games and missed thousands of shots during his career. But he once said, "I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed." These people succeeded because they understood that you can't let your failures define you. You have to let your failures teach you. You have to let them show you what to do differently the next time. But whatever you resolve to do, I want you to commit to it. I want you to really work at it.
That's why losing in life is so important. Whether it's getting dumped, getting fired, losing a game, loss, those feelings where things didn't work out your way, that's important because it lets you know this is the bad feeling that comes when it goes wrong, and you improve, and then it makes the good feelings of victory all the better.
To succeed, you must fail.
In failure and in suffering, all the answers are in there. All the answers to all the test questions. The test is your life. All the answers are in there. You don't have to live in suffering and pain and failure all the time. You have to learn, I need to visit it. Visit suffering 1 hour a day. Visit your past failures 1 hour a day. The relationship with it is the answers are in there.
If you don't fail, you're not even trying. I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. My wife told me this great expression. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did.
After you lose, or when you get knocked down, stay down there for a minute. Understand why you lost. Why did you get knocked down? Because if you just jump right back up, you're going to lose again. So every time I lost, I stayed down for a second. Minutes, hours, days, weeks. But when I stood up, I was different.
The reason most people fail is because they give up what they want most for what they want now. The reason most people fail is because they give up what they want most for what they want now. If that was one message, it'd probably be that. Like, people don't fail because they're not talented or skilled or whatever. It's like you give up what you want most for what you want now.